So this soap was supposed to be a sudser design. I had a sudser that came into the shop and she looked at my list that I was making with all of my sketches and everything. And she's looking at him and says, you should do a hearth with stockings. And that would be, and I went, cool, I'll add it to the list because I actually needed another soap. And that's not what you're getting today because I messed that one up big time. So, there's that. And I will tell you all about what you are getting today in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things and we make all the soapy acknowledgments when we screwed something up. And yeah, this soap was supposed to be stockings with the hearth and all of the things, and I screwed it up. And then Georgia May screwed it up. And so I decided to go with poinsettias because they're not in the line. And usually I have some version of either cranberry or poinsettias and cranberry mixed in the same. Yes. And I didn't have one in the line this year, so I fell back on my laurels for this one. And it's a stunning bar. It's awesome. You're not even going to miss the stockings. You wouldn't even know that there were going to be stockings, except I told you. And, it's fine. I'll try that again some other time. It was not a good pour, though. Anyway, getting ahead of myself because we have announcements to make, right? Today is day 234 of 365 days of soap. Check, check. That announcement is done. It is day 7 of 10 days of thanks. Yes. And we will be giving away at 12 Pacific Standard Time through the newsletter. That's where the code gets. 10 things get given away. It's free. It's awesome. It's fun. We will be giving away the 12 months of soap package. Now, I don't actually know that I've ever talked about this on the channel, and I do that for good reason, actually, because I always have a hard time keeping the 12 months of soap in stock, but I did make sure to make another round of them to make sure that I had them available for 10 days of thanks this year because they're awesome and you're awesome and thank you. So yeah, freebie. It is also day 7 of 12 days of Christmas. And for the 12 days of Christmas soap today, we are making a poinsettia soap. As I said, supposed to be a stocking, not a stocking, a poinsettia. And I will tell you more about the screwed up pour and all the things in the video, but we should go there like now because this is kind of getting long. Day 7 of 10 days of thanks and day 7 of 12 days of Christmas. And you remember yesterday when I made the snow globe and I was bitching about having to do one of Georgia May's designs? Yeah, so this soap, the original design for this one, I had her do. And the original design, it actually wasn't even my design. It was designed by a sudser who came in and sort of like saw my working list as she was shopping. And she went, oh, what would be cute? You should do this. And it was like a hearth with stockings and stuff. Like this is what she described. And I went, yeah, cool, that's awesome. And I drew it out. And then I told Georgia May to make it. And it did not go well. And I then made it. The stockings, I made it. And it also did not go well. I think it was worse than her attempt. And not like the soap was bad, like the soap itself, beautiful formulation, great scent. It smelled delightful. It performed beautifully, but the design was crap. Like it was complete and total bollocks. And so we had done 2 batches essentially that did not work, and I went, nope, we're not going to try it again. This is definitely something that's a little bit too complicated to do in bulk,
And so I switched the design for this one. So instead of getting the, you know, fireplace and the stockings and all the things, we are doing a poinsettia bar today, which I love. I try to put a poinsettia in my line every year for the holidays, some version of it, because it's, you know, awesome. And my mom really loves poinsettias. She's a December baby. Actually, she's not only a December baby, she's like a Christmas baby, which that sucks to have your birthday like, hey, it's Christmas and birthday, so you get the same present for both, and yeah, it's terrible. And so that's not fun. Like her birthday's the day after Christmas, and that's terrible. And but she loves poinsettias, you know, I don't know if it's because of her birthday or because she likes Christmas, because my mom really loves Christmas. Like she goes all out. She's just and I love it that she does go all out. And so I try to keep poinsettia in the line for the same reason that I always have an Oh Christmas Tree bar in the line, because, you know, my mother loves poinsettias, my grandmother, Oh Christmas Tree is her favorite Christmas song, all of the things. And so we are going to put a poinsettia bar in the line this year, and actually something else had to get bumped in order to do it. And, you know, it smells like I think a poinsettia should smell. It has some light notes of cinnamon in this blend, which I just moved there. And the kaolin clay, I think, went into something at some point. And it has, you know, some light notes of cinnamon, but also in order to create poinsettia, you know, scent, you kind of have to get creative. And so it's geranium and rose and ylang ylang and a little bit of frankincense. And it's just such a delightful blend, slightly floral but more like grounded and earthy, which is really, really beautiful. And so yeah, that is what we are working with today. We will be doing a 3-color bar with a hanger swirl in the middle, because I haven't done a hanger swirl in a minute. So I thought, you know, it's time. We have to have at least one of those guys in the line for the holiday season. So that's what we're going to do today. And onto the pour. So again, it's a 3-layer blend swirl thing. We've got red, then we'll do white, then we'll do green, and then I'll push a hanger through it a whole bunch of times, and then it's going to be awesome. Because, yes. And, yes. So, I do actually, in my notes right now, for day 234, and day 7 of 10 Days of Thanks, and day 7 of 12 Days of Christmas, I have in my notes right now, still to this day, did not change them, stockings. Like, the plan was to do a hearth with stockings. And it did not work. It did not work for me. It did not work for Georgia May. We did not do great with that. And so that's a total bummer. But this poinsettia bar is going to be, you know, absolutely beautiful, because it's, you know, it's red and green and white, and maybe dialing it in a little bit, but that's okay, because we've done some complicated stuff just to this point at this point. So to this point at this point. And so yeah, you know, an easier pour. And you know, the easy pours, sometimes they, or a lot of the time, most of the time, they are incredibly stunning. And I think, I mean, if I've had these conversations on the channel before, they sell better. They sell way better than the really, really complicated soaps with the crazy high tops and all the ridiculous neon colors and all the things. Like, they sell better because people feel comfortable using them. So that works. And I don't think we put anything in the line so far that's been so over the top that people would be like, oh, I don't want to use it because it's too pretty, or it's too much, or how do you use this soap? There's just all these piles of glitter on the top. Like, oh, I'm not a real big glitter person anyway, and I'm super not a high top soap person. Like, that's just not my style. There are some soapers out there that do gorgeous things with high top soaps and glitter and all those things. It's not me. So kind of simple and kind of awesome. With the soaps that we did, and so all of these, if you'll notice, everything's sitting at a really nice thin to medium trace, if you describe soap batter in those terms. And I'm doing wall pours to kind of gently get them to layer on top of one on top of another. So it's, you know, kind of looking flag-esque right now in the mold, if you can see it like pretend you can see it in the mold. Pretty good layers between the three. And of course, those nice perfect layers are not going to stay because I'm going to take a hanger to the whole thing. So that's cool. And but yeah, no, with the fail of the stockings soap, we are doing something very fun with those. And by we, I mean Georgia May, because no. But yeah, so ultimately what ended up happening when we were designing the holiday line and the 12 Days of Christmas, well, we ended up with 4 failed soaps. And again, the actual soaps themselves perform beautifully, smell beautifully. The design was just not good. And so with this, I'm doing a regular like checkerboard style, right? So just taking the hanger all the way down to the bottom, moving it over like a 1/4 of an inch, pulling it up, moving it over 1/4 of an inch, pushing it back down the, the width of the mold. And then doing a couple swirls in the middle just to give it some movement and some really good, pull between the green and the white and the red. And the batter is such a beautiful consistency for this. You see how it just laid down on the side of the mold there when I just scraped it off with my spatula. It's flowing so beautifully. It's not so thin that the hanger itself just went through the middle and it didn't move anything because it's too thin to actually push soap through. And it's not so thick that, I mean, kind of the reverse, but also the same effect, the same, end result. It's a gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous texture and consistency for this pour. The batter is just at the perfect heftness or whatever for this. And so for the top of this, just decorating it with I reserved a little bit of all of the colors to give it some interest. Like there have been times when I've put like actual little poinsettia like vines, right, and leaves, and then the little berries and all of the things like a cranberry, whatever. But I found that this actually works just as well, especially since you're cutting them all into, multiple pieces. So at the end result, it looks like you have sort of vines and leaves, and then you have the cute little like berry things there to, you can get super complicated with your soaps, but here's the thing. If you are making soaps, especially during the holiday season, yes, you want them to be beautiful. You want them to be visually appealing. You want them to smell nice. You want them to represent the season. You want them, all of the things for sure, but you also need them to be reproducible. And so if you make your design too complicated, especially during the Christmas season when you can't really do a one-off. I mean, I suppose you can do one-offs and you can say these are all limited edition, they're all whatever, but it's the holiday season. Like I made in total, just 100 bars of this right away, right? And so if I just made those 100 bars, they would be sold out within, the first hour of releasing them. And then they would be done. It would be, November 27th, and I have nothing to sell for the entire month of December. And that's doubly complicated for me because I'm not only online, I also have a brick and mortar. And so for the brick and mortar people who are doing their last minute Christmas shopping, if they come in on December 24th and there's nothing left, well, that sucks for them. So it has to be a design that's easy enough to reproduce. And this one super is, and is still absolutely stunning. So let's go check out the cut. So this has been gelled and C-popped and all of the jazz, and the red color is not the true red from Mad Micah's. This is actually my version of the red. So this is a Merlot from Brambleberry plus a little bit of some sort of pink, also from Brambleberry. And really nice, beautiful cut with all of that. And yeah, oh, see, now that's just delightful. That's pretty. It's bright and it's clean and it smells bright and clean and very Christmassy, and that's awesome and completely, beautiful and striking in a very simplistic and awesome way. So I guess weirdly, the theme of this video has become don't get too over the top and crazy with your holiday line. Like, you know, professional soap maker who's been doing this for several minutes at this point, learn from my mistakes. And when you make anything that's going to be too complicated for you to produce again, you're not going to have fun during the Christmas season because your volume goes up so much more than it normally does. And like I said, I made just regular volume on this one just because that's my standard size batch, you know, about 100 bars. It's all, you know, whatever. And that was, but I'm going to have to make this like, you know, 6 more times. And so if it was an overly complicated design, whew, it would not be fun because you're ramping up so much production with everything else during this time of the year that if you have to spend too terribly long on one specific soap, you're going to be so tired by the end of the season. So yeah, I mean, look at those bars. They are absolutely gorgeous. They're absolutely holiday themed. They all totally work. And it's perfect. And it was reasonably easy to make. That is day 234, the poinsettia.
I should have put a picture up somewhere to show the 2 failed stocking attempts because they were really epic fails on both of our parts. Like the worst soaps we have ever made ever. They looked awful. They performed really well though, and they smelled amazing. They just, no. And that's why you got the poinsettia soap. And the poinsettia soap is gorgeous. It's such a beautiful, simple design. And I really love the beautiful, simple. And we need to have that good balance between the entire, you know, holiday line, right? They can't all be over the top crazy because not everybody's drawn to that. And so I am super glad that we have the poinsettia in the line. If you're interested in picking up this soap, you can find it as well as all of the other holiday things at soapandclay.com on Small Business Saturday. Everything will drop that day. Everything will be on sale that day. It's going to be awesome. Check it out. Yes. If you're interested in seeing what else we're going to come up with for the 10 days of thanks and 12 days of Christmas, or you know, life in general, because the channel continues after these 12 days are over, subscribe to the channel. That would be cool. I really appreciate it when I get new subscribers, and I love interacting with, you know, the interwebs and doing the things and all of that. So do that. Click the word. It would be cool. For those of you who have clicked that word, hey, thanks. You're cool. I love you. Thank you for being around for another round of 365 days of soap. That is it for me today. I will see you guys all again tomorrow.